We're back.
Was that like to the?
We're back.
Was that to the tune of Flash?
No, it was just happening. I had a burp and I was trying to get through it.
Good.
I'm glad I'm at the point now where I've raised my health enough that I don't feel too worried that I'm gonna die a whole ton of times.
I'm glad we actually had a meaningful conversation in a
Yeah,
Dark
that was
Souls
pretty
playthrough that had
decent.
nothing to do with Dark Souls.
That was actually a pretty fluid conversation.
That had nothing to do with Dark Souls. Now we're gonna ruin it by this episode. So actually, do you have anything else to talk about? I have something.
I mean,
Here's an argument we got into earlier.
oh god.
So we went to that event that you mentioned.
Oh, it's about you not being fun?
Yes.
I was mainly just arguing for the sake of calling you unfun. But,
Okay, but I think it's interesting, at least, to as a sort of character study of me and you.
yes.
Victor started doing these event shoots. I think we talked about this on the show, that you were doing these events and you realized there's a lot going on in Virginia Beach.
Yes.
I think it might have been Dark Souls even that we talked about this. You were saying that there's so much stuff going on that we just never go to it. We don't pay attention. And so today I happened to walk into Victor's room and him and he was about to leave to go to shoot a music festival, right? And Brandon Tolentino was going, so I was like, I'll go too. I have nothing else to do. So we went to this music festival. Is really strange the way it's set up, because it's in the middle of Norfolk, which is a fairly populous city, a pretty dense city. It's right in like one of the sort of entertainment district areas.
Yeah.
And there's just like one random plot of land.
Yeah.
Like literally somewhere you'd build a house. It's like right next. It's like at the end of a neighborhood. Like the edge, the last area of a suburban neighborhood.
Little acre of like.
Yeah, not even an acre.
Plot.
Like just a plot of land where a typical house would be.
Yeah.
But there was no house there. So it's just this grassy knoll sitting there right across the street from some restaurants. And they've just set up a stage there, and they've got a live band playing like bebop jazz, and just a bunch of people sitting there on the grass like for this show. There's like a bunch of radio stations have like booths, and that's it, right? No cover charge, nothing. People are just walking up.
Yep.
You know, they've got like a little orange makeshift fencey thing around it, just so people understand the boundaries of the event, I guess. But that's it. And then the restaurant across the street also has a setup where they've got live bands playing, which are like metal bands. At least the one we saw was a metal band. And a bunch of people sitting in there eating. It was a tacos and pizza restaurant.
Also at a bar.
It was called it was like a Mexican name and an Italian name. And it was their tacos and pizza place.
I think it was something in Luigi's.
Yeah. It was like Marco or Pablo or something to that effect. Someone in Luigi's. Tacos and pizza. Such a strange combination.
Yes.
But there's metal bands playing there. Again, just walk in, watch, free. No one cares. And it's just like everyone there is either a college hipster or an old hippie.
Yeah.
And when I say hipsters, I mean like more hippie style hipsters, like druggies sort of looking.
Like thrift store looking.
Yeah, thrift store, pothead.
But that's just
type
hipsters.
and old hippies, and that was the crowd. They're all sitting there just watching. No one's really doing anything. Everyone's just sitting there on the lawn. Like basically, if you had nothing better to do and you happen to be in the area, then you could come here and sit on the lawn and watch a bebop jazz band, or go eat tacos and pizza and drink beer and watch metal bands. And that was it, right?
Yeah.
Just a rinky-dink little event. And we go there for about an hour and a half, you know?
Yeah.
Victor was just there to film. Me and Brandon were just standing there just kind of like, yep, this is what's happening. We were kind of mesmerized by just the idea of this really who is profiting from this event? You know, like, is it the pizza place? Is it the radio stations?
I figured the pizza place was probably sponsoring it.
Who the hell is putting on this event? Who's benefiting from this? You know, who's putting the money into this? It was just really strange. And, like, at most, like, all they were selling was, like, a couple t-shirts. There was a few people who had, like, art stands where they were selling their art, which was just, like...
art and music festival.
Just basic... It was, like, 2 art stands.
Yeah, it was, like, nothing.
Like, one lady and one guy were selling art, and their art was just completely generic, you know,
art.
shit that they made, you know.
They did paintings.
Yes. One guy had painted a lot of skulls...
Yes,
and the lady
was
mostly like abstracts and flowers and shit, like just basic ass fucking college student art shit, right? And that was this quote unquote festival. That's what it was. And like, as fascinating as it was to witness, it was not really any fun. It was just like, it was a thing that was happening.
Exciting, but it was
and,
somewhere
like,
to be and chill.
Right, but Victor kept going like, "See, this is what we could be doing. We could be getting
out."
And
like there's stuff to do.
And I was just like, "Is this any better than what we would have done at home?" Which would have been
something different.
Like,
it's a change of pace. You go out, there's sunlight, there's other people around, you get to hear new local music that, you know, maybe there's something good there. If you stayed all day, maybe you'd hear a good band and be like, I can support them.
Do you really think there was gonna be a good
I don't
band?
know. You never know.
I mean,
good bands have to start somewhere.
I mean, neither band was, like, bad.
Yeah.
They both were competent. We saw the Bebop Jazz guys were playing Bebop Jazz. Could have been any Bebop Jazz band, and the metal guys kind of sounded like a little bit of Mastodon, a little bit of Gent, a little bit of
So Gent.
you know, little bit of, you know, a
They
bunch
were a
of
metal
other
band.
bands. They were not bad.
Yeah.
They were competent. I was headbanging a bit, but
Yeah.
you know, didn't rush to buy their dumb looking merch, though I was tempted. But yeah, it was just like, all right, I know that this is a thing now. I
Yeah.
guess that's really the whole value of it. I know that this is a thing now.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say there was anyone there I would have wanted to hang out with or talk to. I wouldn't say there was anything there I wanted to do or any music I would go out of my way to hear. But I guess witnessing its existence wasn't so bad.
Yes.
But Victor was giving me it was like, this is why you're boring, because
Yeah.
you don't value this any more than sitting around at home. And I'm like, well, it wasn't any different. Like, it was an on par experience to my average day.
I think it's much better than sitting around the fucking house listening to you groan about how fucking bored you are. That's what made it fun.
I guess.
It's
I mean,
better than doing fucking nothing or the same shit
it's
over
better
and
than
over
doing
again.
nothing.
And it's something to do during the day. Like, we usually get more done at night, and it's
Right.
usually funner to do things at night.
Well,
but during the day, there's nothing to do. You might as well go hang out somewhere.
Because Brandon was here, I was thinking we
fucking
might
eat.
actually
Like, it's not that
record a
different.
game even then, you know? Like,
It's still somewhere you can chill and talk. It's just now there's, you know, music going on.
you can't really talk, though, because the music was super loud.
It was in the bar, definitely.
At both times. Me and Brandon had to stand really close to talk at the outside as well. And again, it was like those bugs and shit and bees, and I was like, oh god, bees. And like, at one point I said out loud, like, man, every old hippie in the city is here, and there just happened to be an old hippie walking by as I said it, and I was like, oh man, I hope that old hippie wasn't offended by me
I
saying
go in
that.
there.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess like I said, I guess the value to me is just that I now know that happened.
Yes.
That there was a weird little pocket
And there's
concert
tons
in the middle of
stuff like that.
Norfolk.
Also, you know, anything gets exponentially more fun if you drink. Like,
Right.
If we had alcohol,
believe me,
it would've been fun.
when I was watching that metal band, I was like, if I was drunk, I would be going ape shit right now.
Exactly.
Because they were just good
this
enough
is an event where
to
you
be
get to go
worth
somewhere
partying to,
and you could
know?
drink all day and watch music. And
Right.
you probably have a good time.
Well, like, I was not in the mindset of I'm going to be here for a while. I was in the
Well, we weren't
mindset of
prepared,
I
but
just
it's
want
just
to be
like-
here for like half an hour and see this, you know.
Yeah.
If
There's
I had
just
been there
so-
all
there's
day,
so
I
much
probably
weird
would have got
stuff going
drunk
on.
and fucking rioted. But that's the kind of thing I would only do for something I cared about. Like, if it was a band I liked, then yeah, I'd go all day and see some bands and, you know, get drunk or something. I mean, hell, we drove all the way to DC to see Boris that time.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Don't know if I want to drive all the way to DC to see Death Grips when I don't even trust them to actually fucking put on a show. But Trevor wants to. And I like conventions and stuff. When it's something small like that, it's just like, did I need to go do this, you know? Did I get anything from this other than sitting in the car for an hour to go to a place for an hour?
Well, I also did make the weirdest drive there.
Right.
It should have only taken 20 minutes to get there.
Both ways, though, it was a long car ride. That's why I don't go to Norfolk. Like, I know there's
shit in Norfolk. It's not a long ride
Norfolk.
to me anymore.
I just
because
don't want to drive
to Norfolk
to
so much that I don't think about it. It's not a long drive anymore because I just phase out the whole time.
I'm really not a fan of being in the car in any context, like whether I'm driving or in the passenger.
I like driving. No, I got killed by the spear guys.
Car rides or any rides, transportation.
Uh-huh.
It's a big part of why I don't go a lot of places. Because like I said, I know there's places in Norfolk that I'd love to hang out. I would go to Local Heroes all the time, or that ramen place across the street from Local Heroes, or that new store right next to Local Heroes, the Video Game Heaven. Basically, that whole area, that little
Ghent.
pocket.
That's where we were.
Right. Ghent, there's a lot of cool shit in Ghent.
Ghent is the hipster place. Like, that's just what it is.
There's a lot of cool shit in Ghent, but it's a long drive to Ghent from here, and I don't really feel up to making that drive. The only drive I make is the drive to Wawa every day.
The drive to Wawa. The great quest.
What is that?
It looks like the item from that treasure chest guy, but then it's broken. I don't know, there's too many fucking mimics in this place. Fuck mimics.
What are you doing? You're just like running around.
I gotta get back to that room where I was, because that's how you get the shortcut back to the bonfire. But I died to the fucking lance guy. Like, I was right there. I really just been enjoying Anor Londo, whereas I could have run through this way faster.
Anor Londo is cool.
Yeah.
I really feel like this level is the moment when like Dark Souls' heart opens up, like where
this is like the midpoint in the game.
Well, because it's so completely different from everything you've seen so far. Where it's like you start off in this drab undead place, and then you go to like, which is cool looking and shit. But like if you go down, you're in a dark ass catacombs. If you go up, you're in, you end up in fucking Blight Town and the depths and all these gross, dark places. Sen's Fortress is a nightmare. And then you come here and it's just this pristine, beautiful, sunset, large, open pathways where the whole game's been narrow up to this point. And now all of a sudden it's these huge... Like, that's what blew my mind about Anor Londo the first time I saw it. How wide they made everything.
Because it's supposed to be a city of giants and shit.
Right, but it's like... You just wouldn't expect that from a game like this.
Yes.
Like, there's no reason level design wise to make it super wide, except to accommodate some big enemies. But like, there's parts where it's just wide just for the majesty of it. To be like, geez, this place is huge.
Ah, fuck.
They wouldn't let you sit down?
Nah, because there's enemies in the room.
I didn't know that was a rule.
Yeah. Just kill me. Who gives a shit?
I guess no one.
My shit will be right here.
I guess so.
Yay, my toes. Level up.
So yeah. That was the story of that.
Yep.
I guess we'll do it next time on Digi Bros. Yeah.
Has it been that long?
I think so. I think it's been like 15 minutes, maybe.
Wow.
Maybe
Time
20.
flies.